Hey there. Happy Good Friday for those of you celebrating. It's a beautiful day out there, at least around here it is. And welcome to day 15 of Earth Month Stitch Along. I'm in a flower mode. I don't know if you saw that I just posted in my stories about finishing my flower pieces for my big solo exhibit. It opens tomorrow, finally. So I'm continuing to be in a flower mode. And today, I am using the leftover zip tie thingy that I have from a previous project and the sad little squished bottle cap that I found on the street today. I think it's been squished by a tire. That's what I'm thinking. So these are the pieces that I'm going to make into a flower today. And you get to watch. So here we go. I'm going to change my camera around. Okay, here we are. So, lowering this down, here's my piece of Ziploc bag plastic. Here is my sad squished bottle cap and my leftover zip tie. I have still the pink thread from yesterday. It's this fuzzy, weird thread. And I found a similar green thread. So yes, I'm going to make a pink flower and green leaves. But the first thing I'm going to do is this bottle cap. I don't want to shove my needle through it. So I'm going to use this awl. And I am going to punch some holes in it. I'm going to sort of try to make them symmetrical and even so that I have some what I will call petals. I'm going to make them, I think I'm going to double my thread, or maybe I'll even triple my thread. Let's see. And I'll make nice thick lines, and those will be my petals, of at least how I think about petals. So this awl is a handy tool. I suggest just about any studio should have an awl, because you never know when you might need one. So there, I have my holes. And the other thing I want to do, so that's going to be my flower head. This will be my stem. And I need a shorter stem. So I'm going to cut it right here. It's a strong zip tie. And this I'm going to make into petals. So I'm just going to cut it in half, not petals, I'm sorry, leaves. That's my plan. So here's my basic flower. That's what it's going to look like. But I'm going to stitch things down. So I got my thimble. I am going to stitch the flower head first. I'm going to double my thread because I can. So I am just making it double and tying a knot at the very end. And I'm going to center it over here, and I'm going to start from the bottom and hope to catch. Oh, I can just look at it from the top, so I make sure that I catch on, get into the right hole. There we go. So now I am going to pull this through, and I am going to, let's see, I think I'll just do it like this. There. And now I'm going to go here. And now through the holes that I have punched through. And I'm just going to keep going like this. And trying to catch the hole and get into the pre-punched hole. It's a good thing this thing is see-through and I can look through the other side. And now there's a hole coming up here. So, whoops. Now I'm getting into here. Okay. And got to look on the back side. There I go. Okay. It's going to be a very simple little flower, and I'm keeping it super duper simple. I could make it a lot more elaborate, but I repeat again and again, there's no reason to make things difficult and elaborate. You can just make them simple when you're stitching. Oh, look, I have the perfect amount of thread. There's my flower head, and now I'm going to, I think I'm just going to go through this little knot, and I'm going to go through the second time, and I'm going to tie it off just like that. I'm going to make come through. Oh no, it's getting stuck. There we go. I made it through. Just going to loop through here, and now I'm going to tie it off. Okay, trimming it off. That's the end of my pink thread. So there's my flower head. Now I'm going to use my green thread, and I'm going to do the stem first. And I'm just going to try to make it centered and straight, and I'm just going to couch it on. Very, very simply, not elaborate at all. Just doing my ladder stitch is what I call it, because they're like the rungs of a ladder as I am stitching them on. Okay, so I'm being very, very unnatural by using this single-use plastic, but I'm using natural-like colors, green for the stem, colorful pink for the flower. I just tied a knot in my thread. This thread is not the best thread. There we go, I got the knot out. It's crappy thread, but that's okay. Crappy thread works for fun projects like this. Okay. There we go. I think I'm going to end it right here. Oh no, I'll take one more. Oh no, there's a curve in the stick here, so I'm going to go back through that same hole, back down here. And now I'm going to tie it off through here, like this. I'll loop through it twice and pull tight. And there we go. That's my knot there. And now I can make my little leaves to the side. I think I'm going to make them the same way. I'm just going to make my little ladder stitch. Very, very simply. And so this is a very simplistic, very modernist flower. And why not? Okay. There's leaf number 1. I think I'll do one more stitch here. And now I will go through these holes again to make it an easy tie off. At first I poked a whole bunch of holes unnecessarily, and that happens sometimes. All right, so now I'm going to tie it off in the back here. And once, and twice, and pull through, and hope not to get tangled. Okay, one more. I'm going to tie a knot here. And now I'm going to do the second little petal. I'm going to try to make it even. And through here. Just doing it super duper simply. keeping things light. You know, I hope that you're doing this with kids, because kids can easily do this kind of stitching. I mean, kids as young as 3 years old, as long as they're supervised with an adult, can do this kind of basic stitching. And you could be teaching them how to do this on a piece of cloth, which would certainly be easier to stitch than plastic. But even this plastic is super duper easy to see, and yeah, because it's see-through, you can see what you're doing. Sometimes kids get very confused when they can't see where the stitch went. So this would be a super duper easy thing to do with kids. All right, there we go. I did my little flower. My little Good Friday flower. It's very simple. It's kind of cute. Maybe I should give it some legs and make it look like a person. All right, that would be silly. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.